Today we're going to look at Chapter 1, Economic Perspectives, and this is the preview section for this chapter. It deals with what is economics as we talk about budgeting and making decisions that are going to have the best effect for you in the long term. Budgets are things that you create to help track your money, whether you have money coming in or how you spend that money, both short and long term. Budgets can be done with pencil or paper or by using specialized software. We talked about before using Google Sheets as a good way to go through and calculate your monthly expenses. Whichever format you choose, using a budget to help manage your money helps prevent debt and unpaid bills from piling up. Examining your finances regularly help you to achieve your life goals because your financial choices are planned with those goals in mind. So some food for thought about this section is, by graduating from high school, how much money would you make than someone who doesn't graduate over the course of your lifetime? And what research suggests is it's about $283,000 over the course of your lifetime, or about $9,500 per year. So making that decision to stay in school and graduate from high school is going to lead to some positive changes in your life. Other people are going to go straight to the workforce after high school. You also have to decide, what the best plan is for you, whether you're going straight into the job market or you're going to save up and have some student loans for college or trade school. What is the purpose of where you're going? So to look at this is, again, the basic key is what is economics? And it's how individuals satisfy their unlimited wants with limited needs. We're talking about the whole idea of needs is it's limited resources, meaning how do we make the decisions to use what we have to get the most pleasure, the most satisfaction out of that money. We tend to describe economics in the sense of money or purchases for our needs as a way of studying economics. It's also the decisions of how we make decisions. Bartering or trading one another for other things, making yourself or for other methods is also another way. Before we go any further, we've got to look at two more vocabulary words that you're going to see in your reading. It's disposable versus discretionary incomes. Income can both be disposable and discretionary. Disposable income is money that a person has left after all the taxes have been paid. People spend their disposable income on many kinds of goods and services. First, they buy necessities like food, clothing, and housing. Any leftover income which can be saved or spent on extras such as luxury items or entertainment is called discretionary incomes. So with income, this is the source of all your household spending. Make sure that you work the net income, the amount you pay after taxes, for accurate calculations of what you can actually afford. Remember, gross income is the money that you earn before all your taxes and deductions are removed. So if you're making $7.25 an hour as minimum wage currently, you're not going to be able to take home $7.25. The type of expenses that you're going to have, and the book gives you a list of four. The first is fixed expenses, and those examples are rent, utilities, insurance, tuition, and car payments. These are necessary costs that usually occur monthly or annually. Failure to pay these can result in eviction from your home or loss of services or even repossession. The second one is planned expenses, and those are examples are vacation, major purchases such as a car, a house, or more education. And these purchases are investments that you've been planning for over a long period of time, so you want to make sure that you could save up, whether you have it in a savings account, a different discretionary spending account. I know a lot of people like to use credit unions for these type of expenses, meaning that you kind of have the money there, but you don't realize you have it, so you're planning for the future. The next section is variable expenses, and those examples are groceries, clothing, fuel, vehicle expenses, pet-related expenses. And these necessities must be paid regularly, but are more often unpredictable in amounts. So for instance, if you're looking at the cost of gasoline, in this last 3 months, we went from an average of $2.45, and we're up to now $2.75. So if you drive a lot for work, or if you drive a lot for any other purpose, you have to be able to account for how is that expenditure going to count. I know another one for me is always, looking at getting your car inspected. If something like brakes went bad and you need to put that money into it, can you afford to pull out an extra $400, and where are you going to get that? Because it's not going to be coming from your regular billing expenditures or budget. And the last one, number one, is the finance payments. And these examples are payments for credit cards, loans, or other lines of credit that you may have. These payments are paid in full each month to avoid paying more dues to high interest rates or late payment fees. You know, the whole idea of if you don't pay that minimum payment on credit card, even though paying a minimum payment on a credit card is really, really rough because it's going to take forever and ever to pay it off, if you miss that payment, you're going to have a giant fee added on, and then you don't want to have to pay that as part of your principal amount. The book on page 5 gives a really good example of what a budget can look like. And here you have a person who has a monthly savings and a monthly net from incoming dollars. So you can see over the course of the time, there's some red areas. And these are things that happen, that kind of come out of nowhere, and they're unexpected. So making sure you have the money in your bank account to live for at least the next 1 to 2 months is also critical. So making sure you have that cushion, so if something happens like this unexpected injury of over $5,000, you see this, he can still continue to work hard and have that money saved up over the course of the time. The last sections here in the book, again, it shows you 10 different ways to budget smart. The first one says, educate yourself about the aspects of your finances, meaning what decisions can you make that are going to help you save money, save time, and live the lifestyle that you want to be comfortable with. The second option says, cut back on discretionary spending. Things like this might be, maybe you only go out to eat once a month instead of once every 2 weeks. How do you save some money so that you can put it towards things you need, like investing in the future? Number 3, improve your credit card score so getting credit costs you less. We talked about before the whole idea of how credit can affect you in a negative way, meaning that if you have bad credit, your interest rates are going to get higher, and means that it's going to cost you more money to spend money or to borrow money. So how can we make sure that we can improve our credit score? My recommendation is looking at a program or an application like Credit Karma, where they can run your credit, but it doesn't actually go against your credit. Number 4, audit yourself. Regularly set aside time to plan and manage your own finances. Whether it's once a week or once every couple of weeks, look at what you're spending and how is it affecting you. I know when I go through my checking account, I look at how much I spend on Apple and iTunes. Sometimes I question whether I make good decisions because why am I spending so much money? Make sure that you're actually getting charged for what you're using and you're not making bad decisions. Number 5, shop online for great values. You know, right now everything is going online. You see these big box stores are starting to close, and you have these online options. You could save a lot of money by purchasing things online. You also got to look at doing things like bundling. So for instance, if you join Amazon Prime, though you have a heavier fee up front, you have the chance to get free shipping over the course of the year. So if you're going to buy a lot of things online, that might be a really good investment at the beginning to make sure that decisions that you make are going to save you money over the short term. Number 6, if you're going to use credit cards, use cards that give you cash back on purchases. Again, that's a great way to look at gas perks or things of that nature, where you're spending money, you pay it off quickly, but you get something back in return. Maybe it's once a year or maybe once every quarter. Number 7, avoid ATM fees. Use ATMs that are part of your bank. I know my example is PNC Bank. When you go to PNC Bank, they'll give you 10 transactions off of another person's ATM, and they'll bring it back to you in the form of a refund or a deposit once a month. But if you go to sheet stores, all the PNC banks that are located inside of sheet stores are no-charge ATMs. So it's a good way to make sure you're looking for those signs, because why do you want to spend money just to access your money? And finally, number 8, bundling bills like internet, cable, phones to get discounts. What are the perks that are out there if you bundle and save? Again, AT&T, DirecTV, going together, you can save about $15 per month if you bundle. Number 9, choose investments that cost you less in fees. Pretty self-explanatory. Making sure that you're not paying to access. And number 10, save your money and put it away into savings or investments. You know, what kind of money can you invest now that you can't feel? Before we talked about whenever we said about a 403B or a 401k, what kind of money can you invest that you're not going to feel? So, you know, whether you raise your raise every year whenever you get a raise the amount of money you're putting into that 401k or that 403b, so that you don't have that immediate effect or that big shock. So I have a little part here of assignment for you to do. Something that's pretty crazy if you think about like budgeting In today's lifestyle, if you're making $7.25 an hour, which is the minimum wage, you got to work really hard to be able to budget your money because you don't have a lot of it. So the average high schooler, 12th grader, into your first year of college, you probably going to work a minimum wage part-time job. So here for this scenario, we're going to give you 12 hours a work week. That's 48 hours a month. So you're going to receive a $350 a month as a gross, which works out to about $262.50 a month net. That's the money that you could actually see. So I want you to go through this scenario, and I'm going to attach the document below. So you have $262.50 to spend this month. You need to buy the following items. I want you to go online, and I want you to shop and see what are the prices you're going to pay to spend on these items. At the end of this time, what are you going to have left? What other items do you need here to survive besides the list that's there? And what could you do to help save money month to month? Do you buy in bulk 1 month? Do you buy less 1 month? What can you do to save? I appreciate your time and look forward to looking at some of your answers.